What are we missing right now, because it gets overshadowed by coronavirus news? A new dinosaur the size of a hummingbird was found literally just yesterday. A cow in Florida has evaded police for 2 months. A mighty steed worthy of Florida man. A second person was cured of HIV in the UK. I heard about this. It was because of a stem cell treatment meant for his cancer. But the cells in the transplant came from someone with HIV immunity. Yes, that's a real thing, so now he's cured. Truly amazing news. There's a plague of locusts about to tear through Africa. Pestilence, check. Continue this thread. Anyone seen Moses? Ethiopia is facing mass starvation due to swarms of locusts the size of cities. Apparently they're bringing in hundreds of geese to eat the locusts. Well, famine and pestilence. That's half of the horses. Swarms of locusts the size of cities. I would have thought that once locusts go over small dog size, it's pretty much up to the mobile infantry to take care of them. Are locusts edible? Russian parliament passed a reform allowing Putin to stay president until 2036. Emergency powers to Chancellor Putin. Well, that just sounds like dictatorship with extra steps. Boko Haram is still stealing girls from their homes and burning entire towns to the ground. A city in Puerto Rico is now entirely underwater, and because the island is so impoverished, hundreds of people just don't have homeowners insurance to move, so they're homeless. Boko Haram has also casually slaughtered hundreds of thousands of young boys. Which city? Edit, hundreds of thousands is not correct. The correct number is unknown, but seems to be in the range of at least 20,000 boys butchered by Boko Haram. Boko Haram has stated that the motive for kidnapping the girls was to gain international fame, since nobody seemed to notice or care about them butchering the boys. The hundreds of thousands number came from the number of children displaced by Boko Haram and the conflict as a whole, out of 2.5 million people, both children and adults. I apologize for the misinformation. Didn't Epstein's bank account just quietly shuffle away another 50 million? Not as important as a lot of other issues, but the whole Epstein thing has really fallen out of the news cycle. That was me. I bought a Band-Aid at a hospital and they charges me 50 mil. I'm fairly convinced that Epstein's death was fake. Congress, a Democrat and a Republican, just introduced a bill that'll limit our free speech online, and may take away privacy via encryption. It's called the C0R0RON Act. Here's a link. Edit, I should have given a possible solution, instead of just pointing out a problem. We should all write our representatives and senators to get this thing shut down. This is why it's unwise for almost all members of government to be at an age range that doesn't understand the future of technology. So do they pre-write this garbage and just wait for a horrible event to happen? Russians killed 36 Turkish soldiers in Syria. All-out war between Turkey and Syria. A oil price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia. A refugee crisis in Greece and border fights between the Greek and Turkish police. 2 American and 1 British soldiers were killed in Iraq. The US is currently responding with massive airstrikes. Ceasefire in Syria. Ceasefire means a rearmament because the rebels and SAA have lost a huge amount of people and material in the last few weeks. Putin becoming leader for life. Putin is becoming lifetime ruler of Russia. So, nothing new? Harvey Weinstein was found guilty and will die in jail. Probably soon. I know it's pretty obvious, but the Hong Kong protests. Also Australia, after over 250 days is no longer on fire. But that's because the fires were put out by floods. Oil price war between Russia and Saudi Arabia. Don't know much about it, but my jaw just about dropped on my way home from a semi-remote vacation and saw that gas was almost down to $1.90 a gallon in our city. Think they had oil going for like $30 a barrel or something. Oil price war combined with COVID-19 is what's tanking the US domestic economy right now. Not many people missed that among the coverage. Johnny Depp is suing the Sun. I thought you meant like literally the sun. Oh man, I am dying right now. How TF do you sue a celestial body? How do you even enforce that ruling? Old man yells at cloud. Took me a full minute to get it. Good, the son is an absolute chitterog. Corey Feldman accused Charlie Sheen of rape. Didn't he say that Charlie was the one who molested Corey Haim? He accused Charlie Sheen of raping Corey Haim on the set of Locusts when they were 19 and 13, respectively. The Taliban never intended to follow the treaty recently signed with the US. That's news. I'd be more surprised if they intended to follow it. The high-profile pedo ring busts. More details please. Listen to CBC's new podcast called Hunting Warhead. They go really into it. So great. Hong Kong protests. I just think that was the media being tired of following the same situation for a long time. Same happened with the yellow vests in France. Fear sells more than dictatorship. Harvey Weinstein rushed to hospital with chest pains. I hope he gets the best care possible and recovers to the fullest of his potential health. He has a lot of years behind bars waiting for him and he needs to experience every single one of them. Mexico had a day without women. March 9th we had a national women's strike where women were encouraged to not go anywhere. Schools, offices, public places did not have more than a couple of women during the day, and it was done to show our disappointment towards gender violence and our anger against the poor actions taken to stop it. It caused more than $1 billion of losses in our country in general. GOP Senate crossed aisle to rebuke Betsy DeVos for collecting on student loans that were supposed to be forgiven. They went against Trump's rich buddy. She's still in her position though, despite the corruption. The fact that if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma due to exposure to asbestos, you may be entitled to financial compensation.